Here's a bulk purchase order we're working on. That's the same group. 88 assets. This is probably one of the nicest pools that I've seen. This came direct from a relationship we have with a hedge fund. 88 assets with current market value at $15 million. That's what's worth. $15 million. The UPB was about $17 million. Okay? So I've taken a little bit of a depreciation, but we're still holding value there. Okay? So if you figure we submit an offering at 40% of value, just about $6 million, 35% of UPB. Here, this was exactly where the tape was. It was basically limited to these states: Arizona, North Carolina, Colorado, Tennessee, and Georgia. All right. Median home price was $170,000 per asset. There was less than 10 that were valued less than 100 grand. All right. There's where basically the assets at. I find out tomorrow if we get it accepted. I know that we're in the final running for it. Now, somebody's like, well, Scott, that's great. $6 million for 88 assets. How are you going to finance that? Anybody thinking that right now?
Yes.
All right. There's actually funds, hedge funds on Wall Street that I'm affiliated with, that if we put up a 25% of what the funding amount is, they'll finance the remaining 75% at 12% interest rate. No equity, nothing. But they want to buy bigger pools and finance this stuff. Is that kind of cool?
Yes.
You think we could turn around and, I mean, they get the money back first, but there's a little bit of opportunity there. Okay? You think it'd be easier to raise $1.5 million pretty easy versus $6 million? Somebody doesn't believe me in here.
Yes.
Yes, it is. When you can show somebody, hey, come in like this, you'll be in, you'll be leveraged in, you'll be at less than 40% of the value. You have some equity there to play around with. Yes. Okay? Now, the nice thing, these are all basically in quick foreclosure states, non-judicial. All right? That's another beautiful thing. Huh? Somebody have a question? No? Yes, sir.
So you travel back and forth to all these different cities?
No. No, not at all. I would be a lot skinnier guy if I did that. All right. There's professionals out there. There's realtors that will pull comps for you. There's professional companies that you'll pay if you want to. You have to use a website called Active Range. You'll find realtors in every market that will pull a desktop CMA for you for free. Some of the things I'll go through later on. Okay, but no. I mean, there's some people that love to jump on a plane and travel. And yes, I traveled 46 weeks last year, but it was not to go look at assets. I had people go out and put eyes on the properties for me. Because as an agent, I'm calling an agent and say, listen, I've got an asset I'm getting ready to buy here. If I buy it and turn it into REO, it becomes a listing for you. Okay? Can you tell me what its value is and drive by and give me a photo or two? Okay, if I got to pay you $50, I'll pay you $50. All right? So what are the exit strategies for a lot of this stuff? Well, you can flip the note to a big chunk. If you're buying either one asset or 100, you can flip the note to somebody else, like a wholesale model. It's the same basic premise if you're flipping real estate. Anybody like short sales? I only like short sales if I can buy the note on it. Because then, if I'm buying the note and become the bank, and the borrower already has the property listed for short sale, what's that tell you?
You're going to get paid.
They want to get out of the property. They're not expecting any money back. Okay? So I like buying notes on properties that are listed for short sale, because then I can be the bank and approve the short sale in 24 hours. Send me the final HUD. Let's see, what did I buy the note at versus what I'm yielding there? Yes, great, let's do it. Okay? You can also modify the loan. Do a loan mod for those borrowers. Okay? If you're buying an asset at 20% of value, do you have some play there to mess around with stuff? If they can bring a little skin in the game? All right? I tell you, we buy these pools of assets. I get phone calls. I get actually a report from a company called New View Financial that handles a lot of the servicing aspect for me. They're like, so-and-so, contact the borrower. They've been trying to do a loan mod for 4 years, but their loan's been sold 5 times. So every time they got to the point where they're good to go, the loan got sold. They had to start all over again. All right? But borrowers that emailed me and said, oh, thank you so much. We're so glad we've lived in the house for 20 plus years. Our kids will be able to graduate and move on. We'll stay here. We can actually afford the payment now. Thank you so much. They're not knowing that I make a 20% return. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm feeling happy. Thank you very much, too. All right? I can modify the loan. You can buy the note, flip or hold the property. One of the biggest things, guys, is you can foreclose on the property or get a deed in lieu and let the property owner walk with no foreclosure in their credit. No deficiency judgment. They don't need to file bankruptcy. Just let them go. Say, listen, you owe $161,000 on a condo in Miami. All right, it's worth $35 grand. You live halfway across the country. Just walk away. Just give me the property, give me the keys, and I'll forgive you your debt. Do you think Wells Fargo or somebody else is going to do that? No. Is it beneficial for you? Yes, it's beneficial for me. If they start playing tough ball with me, my attorney sends them a letter, and they're like, well, okay, we'll go ahead and do some stuff. Like, yeah, I'll give you $500 to walk or $1,000. All right, I'll pay your deposit in the apartment complex if you're living in it. Okay? All sorts of different ways to do it. Get creative. Okay? What if you don't have cash? Easiest thing to do is the wholesale notes. Okay? That's basically you negotiate with the bank on a note, get their price, and then you market the note at a slightly higher price to your investors. All right? The investor funds it, and you walk away. And then basically all the paperwork handles an assignment via trust or assignment of mortgage. It's transferred ownership. Okay? The non-wholesaling agreement for it. It's very, very similar process. Anybody here wholesaling properties right now? Yeah. Easy to do notes. Actually, a lot easier because you have a lot more inventory out there. Okay? There's buyers in every market out there, especially with the use of Meetup.com, Active Rain, Craigslist, Backpage.com. All right? Postlets. Heck, anybody here familiar with Postlets? Heck, you can post that. You can create a Postlets ad and post to 300 plus social media websites out there for free. Okay? Give you an example here. Here's a note wholesale example. This is actually a 17-unit apartment complex in San Diego. Anybody like San Diego? 3 people do. Okay, great. You're after, do we need to get them to do some calisthenics here? All right. This is a 17-unit San Diego apartment complex. It's actually a picture of the property as it's at. I took a look at it. The borrower owned like 8 different complexes. And what this one was completely full. So it was a personal ATM. It was robbing from Peter to pay Paul. All right? Done some rehab about a year and a half. Got this from Capital One. Capital One said the DPO said the value is $700,000. Okay? We confirmed with the local realtor. Yeah, it was about $700,000. The borrower owed $525,000. So was there some equity already?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of equity. All right. Now we negotiated with the bank back and forth over 30 days. They finally settled on selling the note for how much? $375. And Maya had a pretty good deal on that one. Yeah. I said, well, great. I'm at $375. There's a lot of equity. Let's see if I can flip this really fast. Okay? So I posted an ad. You're going to crack up with this on Craigslist. And an investor, Matt Hutter down here, with his wife and 3 kids, actually responded to it. Matt's like, I like that. I'm in San Diego. Can I buy that from you? I'm like, yeah. How soon can you close? He says, well, I got 2 buddies of mine that we've got some money to invest with. I wanted $425 for the deal. We ended up selling $410. So he funded it in 24 hours. Closed on it. Monday morning, I walk in to my office and pull up my bank account, my escrow account that I have. I see $425,000. I start dancing, doing happy dance. Ran down to the bank and wired $375 to Capital One. Okay? I'm sorry, $410, not $425. So I put $35,000 in my pocket in 24 hours. Is that a good deal? Is that a good day?
Good day.
Pretty good day, yeah. So what did Matt do? Some of you are probably thinking, well, heck, there's a bigger payday there if you hold on to it for a little bit. Well, yeah. Okay. So what did Matt do? He took a deed in lieu from the property owner, actually, and sold it as an REO. It took him about 4 months to sell it, and there's a copy of his check for $548,000. Made $138,000 profit. Is that a good day for him? Yeah, definitely so. He did the right thing. He got a shut-up check. He took his wife to Hawaii. Somebody like that? Somebody here needs a shut-up check? Honey, I know I'm working. Trust me. All this work, let me give you a check to go have some fun with. So he took his wife to Hawaii. So, anybody like those deals? Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Not bad. I always say focus on smaller lenders, though. Mortgage bankers often have junk to move. And they'll often have like smaller like warehouse lines with some of the bigger boys. They'll have like 5, 10 million. What happens a lot of times is these mortgage bankers out there, they go out and make a loan with the idea that Wells Fargo or Bank of America is going to buy the loan from them, as long as basically the person's got this exact, got a 625 grid FICO score. They're 38% DTI ratio. All right, problem is, it has to fall in all these categories for the big boys to buy the note back, and then if the borrower that they write the loan to defaults in 6 to 12 months, the mortgage banker, the guy with the line, has to buy it back from Chase or the bigger 5 at full value. But what happens when a note is not being paid or paid on time? The value drops down. Does that make sense? All right. For every month that a mortgage goes unpaid, that value of that mortgage decreases 10, 15%. Okay? So a lot of these guys will have smaller lists, but there's nobody calling them. I mean, literally nobody calling them. We've got staff that will call people or students that will call them like, oh yeah, I haven't heard from anybody in like 3 years. I didn't think anybody would buy my stuff. Okay? You make a connection with a lender on these and the trustee. Like they'll have a foreclosing attorney. If you close on this deal, oftentimes when stuff falls out of escrow, the other buyers fall out, they'll call you with deals. And you're the only one they call. All right? And you do this business over and over again. So let me give you an example of that. Lucinda and Tate Childs here. Now, Tate's a commercial realtor in Austin, and his wife is a stay-at-home mom. Now, Tate's like this, like many guys said, I want to do something for that my wife can do with me in real estate. So I came to my class, he goes, this would be perfect for my wife to do. I'm too busy. So Lucinda came to the class, took a copious amount of notes. She really didn't have any real estate background, even though Tate was a commercial realtor. Okay? So she leaves the class, starts calling banks like I tell her to. Say, hey, here's a list, start calling these banks. So she does. Well, she calls this one company called W.R. Starkey Mortgage. Are you familiar with that? You probably are, Tim. Starkey Mortgage, out of Plano, Texas, actually. And talks to the asset manager there and says, hey, do you have any notes for sale? He's like, yes, I do. Call me back in 5 weeks. Why 5 weeks? We don't know. Okay? So calls back in 5 weeks. Lucinda gets this list of 3 notes sent to her. And she calls me. She's like, oh, my God, Scott, what do I do now? I'm like, okay, let's get realtors to pull comps. So we pulled comps on a Monday. Tuesday afternoon, we looked at it. Actually, that's my realtor up there in the top of the corner. Haley Catless went with this property in San Antonio. Property in Grand Prairie, Texas. And here's a waterfront condo in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, on the water. Okay? So realtors pull comps. Give you some numbers on this. Borrower owed about $169,000 on the 7-story condo. It's all worth about $129,000. Okay? Over here, the gentleman who owned this had gotten divorced. He was an arena football player, tore his ACL, and got divorced and had to move out. He was going back to school and let the property vacant. Was living with his mom. Owed $128,000 on it. Property was only worth about $110,000. This is in Grand Prairie. Guy owed $105,000 on it. Property was only worth about $89,000. Okay. We pulled comps, and then I sent an offer in Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock. I was about to go bird hunting. 4:36, Lucinda calls me back and says, okay, our offers were approved. I go, shit, we should have offered less. We offered the 65. They accepted it. Pretty good deal. We offered 53 on this one. They accepted. We originally offered 62 on this one and realized it was a little too skinny, so we went back to the guys, listen, we can't close at 62. You know, it's only worth about 89 and 90. It's too skinny for us. He goes, well, what do you offer? I said, well, maybe 55. He was like, sold. I'm like, damn, I should offer 50. Okay? But we turned around, and I literally called an investor in North Carolina by jumping on the investment club and said, hey, I see you're buying in South Carolina. I got a condo. You want to pay 10? You want to buy this condo for a 10 grand wholesale fee? He was like, yes, I do. Give it to me. All right? This one down here as well. Bought it at 55. That's 8 grand in wholesale fee on it. The investor doing this one, he talked to the homeowner and did a loan modification, making 18% in his IRA. This investor was able to get a deed in lieu from the borrower, and now they go on vacation there, and I actually get to go a couple weeks out of the year when I want. All right. This one up here, we bought it at 53. Okay, it was worth how much? Can you remember? 110. Guy had a pit bull, so it tore up the bedroom, carpet and paint. We put 5 grand into it, listed it for sale in the MLS. Haley's a good realtor. We listed it at 110, and we got a full price offer in 24 hours. Okay? We should have gotten more, but I wasn't being greedy. We were like getting out of it. I noticed that 2 properties across the street were going to foreclose. Like, let's get 110 and get out. Okay? We had an investor, private investor, come and fund the deal at 58, and then we split the profits with it. So we made about 40 grand that we split. So, give you a breakdown. Lucinda and I split the difference. She made 10 grand on her share of that rehab, 4 grand on part of the wholesale fee in Grand Prairie, and 5 grand, which is half of the 10 of the Myrtle Beach condo. She made 19 grand in wholesale profits. They're just making phone calls. Just making phone calls. Okay? She didn't have a website up. She didn't have any earned cash in it. She basically didn't negotiate much versus forwarding an email and an Excel sheet back and forth. No overhead, no letters, and definitely no drama. Okay? Is that a good day for her? Now, what I can never understand is the mentality of some people. She made 19 grand basically in 90 days, closing, and stopped calling. Got busy with the life. I ran into it. Yes, I know I need to get back into it. It's like, how's everything go? Well, money's still hurting. I'm like, well, get on the phones. What are you doing? Find some deals. Okay? Never know that. Ugliness we love too. All right, this is a little property in Phoenix, Arizona. Anybody invested in Phoenix, like Phoenix? Okay, this is 2 people. All right. This is a little duplex we got on the list from Wells Fargo Financial of like 80 lists. 80 assets. They're like, sure, pick anything. I'm like, okay. So, what you can't see, I'll pull this right. Investor bought this property to rehab it, was going to list it, but he bought it at the peak of the market. And what happened to Phoenix? Some sound effect there for you. So he just said, heck with it. All right? Wasn't doing anything to it. Was living across town. A couple bums moved into it. Were squatting. What you can't see is the orange extension cords running out of the windows to the neighbor's houses next door. They actually had a big screen TV in there. They were watching movies at night. Okay, ceiling fan, all that stuff. All right. So we get this from it, and I'm like, well, all right. $130,000 first lien, what was owed on it. Guy had not made a payment in 18 months. All right. The after repair value was 110, but you had to put some money into it. So you needed 30 grand repairs. 55,000 was the current market value as it sat. Okay. Think about this. 55 is what it's worth if today was then. 30 grand repairs would be worth 110. What would you pay for this? 25? 15? Who else? Huh? 15? Who else?
10.
Come on, it's all right to talk. I'm not going to snap your heads off.
10.
How much?
7,500.
7,500? God, I wish I had 20 of them. What would you pay? 3,750 is what we paid for that. Okay? 3,750 is what we paid for. Now, the funny thing on that is we bought the note, and Lily, before I bought the note, I had this realtor, Bobby and Charles Wilson, who are out of Phoenix. Like, hey, Bobby, can you pull comps on this property? She's like, yeah, it's kind of in a bad area. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, what do you think it's worth? So she gave me the number. She's like, what are you buying it at? And I go, $3,750. She's like, $37,000? And I go, no, $3,750. She dropped the phone. What? I could probably move that. She goes, actually, Scott, I got $5 grand sitting in my Roth IRA, self-directed Roth IRA. Can I joint venture with you on it? I'm like, what? Do you want to actually fund the deal and run it? She's like, yeah, I'd love to. I was like, well, okay, Bobby, sure. Why don't we do that? So she funded the deal. It's a funny story. She went and knocked on the door. Before she knocked on the door, I made a phone call to the borrower. And it was Maria Rentana. All right? So I call up, and it's a Spanish name, so yo hablo un poquito español. All right? So I call the borrower, and I get her husband on the phone. I said, hola, is Senor Rentana aquí? He's like, no, it's not aquí right now. I was like, oh, yo hablo inglés? He's like, yeah, hablo un poquito. I was like, well, okay, your property 9625 Holly, I'm now the bank on, and you haven't made a payment in close to 2 years. I talked about it. He goes, oh, no hablo inglés, no hablo inglés. So we sent a letter out. We had a letter from the attorney. Bobby went out and dropped the letter off. Literally, they called and said, okay, we'll do a deal. They showed up at closing, and they must have gone out and bought the Rosetta stuff, because they spoke perfect English. All right? But literally, what took time was basically in 30 days, after we got the deal, and we sold it for 25 grand. Cash. All right? I didn't walk the property. I never even saw the property. These are the pictures that actually Bobby sent me. Okay? I closed the title company out there because it's an REO sale. We split the 17 grand in profit because there were some back taxes owed. Is that a good little deal? Was she happy with her IRA investment?
Absolutely.
Was I happy? Yeah, I gotta sit at home in my boxers watching ESPN. That paints a picture. Never mind. We'll move on. Right? About 3 hours of work from 1,000 miles away. But I do this stuff all across the country. All right? All right? You make money holding on. Anybody looking for cash flow? Right? Everybody should be looking for cash flow. You get money, you make quick money flipping, but you make wealth and really grow rich with cash flow, right? Okay. Jamie and Lenny, Taylor, North Carolina, they actually were the ones that bought the Myrtle Beach condo as well. But before that, one of my first students I was working with, we get this long list of notes from a hedge fund. And they're like, oh, this is all stuff that we don't want. And Jamie's like, well, she lives in Taylorsville, which is an hour north of Charlotte. She's like, Scott, she's got this Loretta Linux. She's like, I don't know. That one in Charlotte looks like it's in the hood. I'm like, well, do you have anybody go take a look at it? She's like, yeah, I'll send my brother out there. I'm like, wow, you really love your brother. So he went out there, and she called me back the next day. She said, Scott, it's actually worth closer to 50. What's UPB stand for? Unpaid principal balance. All right, yeah, y'all passed the test. Okay. UPB. So with her 37.5, she offered 50 cents on the dollar. And I told her, I was like, look, just offer 10 cents of what's owed. All right, just 10 to 20 cents. She's like, no, I want to get the bid on this one. I'm like, just offer 10 cents. She didn't listen to me. She offered 17.5. They accepted it. Was the hedge fund happy? Yeah. I think we'll never get through 6 grand. Nice. Well, she bought the note and went out there and knocked on the door. And it was a long-haul truck driver that lived in it. Okay? Hadn't made a payment in a while. Been laid off. And he's like, listen, I know I've been paid, but I don't know who to make a payment to because my loan's been sold 4 or 5 times. I just got hired on and got a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Would you modify the loan for me and keep me in the loan if I pay some money down and start making payments on time? What do you think Jamie said? Yeah, completely. And she funded this with a Roth IRA as well, self-directed. So she did a modification that was paying her 22% a month. Okay? Now 6 months later, the long-haul truck driver got stationed somewhere else. So what he did, he's out there like, listen, thank you for your help. Let me just give you the property. Could he have sold it? Of course he could have sold it for 50. Would she have made money still? Yeah. But he was like, listen, thank you for helping me out so much. Here's the property. I've got to move fast. I don't have time to listen. Here you go. Was that a win-win for her? Rents her $800 a month too. She loves that one. Okay. Quick flip to another little lesser. Quick wholesaling stuff here. This is a deal that we. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house in Tampa. This is the only picture I've seen of the property. It was on the list. We offered $4 grand for it. The bank accepted it. I posted an ad. Another investor paid $10 grand to me for it. So I put how much money in my pocket? $6 grand. He went out and listed it online and sold it for how much? Get up there. 24. So win-win-win across the board. That happens a lot. Okay? When was the last time you made 14 grand in 24 hours? Never. Okay. Well, never. That's too long. It's a chunky. What is that? Chunky meal sleep. Anyway. Here's the deal that the bank literally called me on. Now this is a 6-bedroom apartment complex in West Palm Beach, 800 Clubhouse Drive. What happened? I was sitting October, sitting at home. I get a phone call from this asset manager. Like, hey, Scott, is this Scott Carson? Like, yes. I'm like, okay, what's going on? You always wonder, is this Scott Carson? When somebody calls you by your name, I'm like, yes. And they're like, I get your name from one of my colleagues that says you buy notes. I'm like, yes. I go, what institution are you with? He goes, I'm with Cohen Financial. We've got this apartment complex we're looking to sell a note on. I'm like, tell me about it. He goes, all right, well, it's worth, I think it's worth about $240 right now. The borrow is $430 on the first to us. Hasn't made a payment, actually, in about a year and a half. July 2010 was they called, was the last payment made. I said, what do you want for it? He goes, $240. I'm like, I'm not paying what it's worth. I said, I'll offer you $150. He's like, oh no, we're too far between. I was like, okay, well, best of luck to you. I hung up. 30 days later, I called him back. He's like, okay, we'll take $210 for it now. I'm like, nah, I still only want to offer you $150. He's like, nah. Okay, October, November. Another 30 days goes by, call him back, 1st of December. I said, you still got that 6-plex for sale? He's like, yeah. I said, you still progressing with the foreclosure? He goes, yeah, although the bank, we've been appointed receivership, so we're actually collecting the rent payments now. The borrower has moved on. I said, what do you take for it? He said, oh, we still like $210. I'm like, $210? No, dude. I said, I can close before Christmas is near. Want to let it go for $175? I don't know. Let me check. So I went back. 5 minutes later, coming back. He goes, yep, we'll accept $175. Okay? Now, that's about 70-75% of value. Now, the nice thing in Florida is all the foreclosures are online out there. So I started researching properties and realized, oh, actually, these little 6-plexes are going up in value. All right? So we purchased it for $175. We actually took it over receivership, started collecting rents from the 6 tenants in there. All right? We sold it at a foreclosure auction as we finished that foreclosure in 8 months at $310,000. Okay, now we put zero money into it besides the $175. We literally were using the rent money coming in to actually update and pay the attorney's fees. Is that kind of cool? 4 people like that one. All right, man, it's a tough crowd here. All right. Oh, 5 minutes in, that was late?
You're getting close to the end.
I'm getting close to the end. All right. So how do we find it? We actually found, I just ran an ad and talked to some local investor, Kathy Hopkins, who's a realtor for Keller Williams Realty. She's like, we'll do a 75-20. She wanted to actually manage the project. I'm like, that's fine. So she brought in all the money, and then we split it 75-25 on the back end of equity. So that's actually the check that was cut to us. Actually, you can see there, $310. And then my cut was $29,000 out of it for just putting the deal together. Not a bad little thing, huh? $29,000. Well, you were tough. The nice thing is the foreclosing trustee then called me the next day after we foreclosed and said, hey, Scott, I got 2 more deals for you. 4-plex in Naples and a 55-unit apartment complex in Naples. Anybody like that?
Yes.
Like, have you called anybody? He's like, nah, people don't close, you close, we want to work with you. We call you first time now. If anything falls out, is that okay? I'm like, yeah, that's okay, thank you. What kind of wine do you like to sing for Christmas? Okay, how do we create win-wins for the property owner? Well, most borrowers out there have their head stuck in the sand or somewhere else. All right? We offer homeowners a deed in lieu, so they can just walk away scot-free, no deficiency judgments. That's one of the biggest things out there. Banks are trying to get these people to do deficiency judgments, and like, they had no money to pay with to begin with. How are they going to pay what you want? All right? No more late pays on the credit. No foreclosure on the credit. It's up to you as the investor if you wanted to report that. It costs money to report to the credit bureaus, I know. And think about this. Somebody's not made a payment in 3 years, and they've got a legitimate excuse. Either spouse passed away, lost their job, okay? And you come in and say, listen, we'll buy that out, we'll let you walk. If they go out there and start being responsible again, and they hire a credit repair agency, how soon can they often get those late pays taken off their credit? 6 months, 12 months? Can their credit skyrocket like that? Can they get back into the American dream?
Yes.
Yeah, completely. So you have that opportunity. You're the Lone Ranger without Tonto riding on that white horse. That'll help them out of a lot of bad situations. Okay? You can cash your keys if you want, no promissory notes. It's a win-win. How do we create win-win for the banks? Well, we just get rid of their bad debt that's killing our books. Settle a fraction of the time and really get them out of a bad situation. They've had this pretend and extend mentality in commercial specifically. I mean, I've seen loans where they made the loan and the borrower didn't make a payment for the first 3 years, and they extended the loan. Like, what are you smoking? Some crack over the plastic crack pipe. Must be good stuff. Okay? For us as investors, I don't know about you, but I often felt like I was running like a little, what do you call that? Hamster wheel, thank you. Hamster wheel there. Very little competition out there, guys. Awesome deals, very little overhead. You can close residential and commercial deals basically doing the same steps. Do you evaluate a little bit differently? Yes, but you still find the same thing. You can do stuff all across the country from your house. All right? You can do some of your money because there's so much money out there right now to invest with. So what's the catch? Well, I always call it the 400-pound telephone. People don't like to pick up the phone and talk. Okay? Now, what's nice, though, is over the last 6 years, the market's changed. You can use resources like LinkedIn to find asset managers. Meetup.com, their special asset manager conferences, go hang out in the lobby and buy drinks. Okay? But really, if you were to start calling all these banks out there, 27 institutions out there, it would take you 586 days to call everyone once, make a new phone call every 10 minutes for an 8-hour day. Can you follow up that way? No, not at all. So that's why I say there's plenty of opportunity out there. All right? It's all about knowing exactly what to say. Now, we're big fans of Tom Hopkins. We read his stuff. Okay? True law, 80% of sales are made after the 5th contact. Okay? And when I teach people, it's literally make a phone call, introduce yourself, drop an email. Okay? You're going to get one of the two, usually most phone calls. Out of 50 phone calls, you're probably getting 4 or 5 asset managers that will call you back or send you something. All right? First round of calls I made took me 54 no's before I got a yes. Okay? Calling Capital One took me 70 phone calls over a 3-week period. I would get mad if I get hung up on from being transferred to Pakistan or something like that for the 20th time. Okay? But finally on that 70th phone call where I got a yes, was it worthwhile? Yeah. Completely. Each phone call is 500, knowing what to say is also the key. So I would say fake it before you make it. You don't need to know A to Z. You just need to focus on how to find the right person at the bank, what and what not to say, especially what not is important. You don't want your email to be tigerlily05@yahoo.com. That can shoot you in the foot. You got to follow up with people. You get a list of notes, and really that's where you hit the jackpot and go from there. I mean, if you don't want to buy the notes yourself, you can flip it to another note investor out there. All right? You guys, just me ask the question, okay? Thank you. What websites out there to use? Well, ActiveRain.com is a great website. It's free out there for you. Anybody familiar with ActiveRain? Yes, 2 people. Thank you, Stacy. This is where you can find realtors, appraisers, insurance agents, attorneys, closing companies, all online, free. They got a great referral network you can log in and post and say, hey, I got a property in Winston-Salem, North Carolina that I need an account pulled on. Will somebody help me out with that? And it happens. People respond in minutes. Meetup.com, I shouldn't have to tell you about that. Great way to find real estate clubs with investors all across the country. Also, it'd be like wine. We are in kind of wine country here, right? Yeah. Going to the wine clubs across the country. You can raise a lot of money when the vino's flowing. That's a trick. Seriously, it works well. Postlist.com, I mentioned that already. REIClub.com, another great website for you to find investments. Or literally, you can email the president of those clubs, and oftentimes they have wholesalers that will take deals down for you. Okay? Mistakes to avoid, you got to learn to delegate. You got to quit trying to do everything yourself, from swinging a hammer to checking title to mowing the grass. All right? It's like what I love about Andrew and I, we work so well together on a lot of things. He usually speaks, and I speak at different places, is you delegate. Delegate, delegate, delegate. Now, it's hard. Some of us are really difficult to delegate. Anybody want to admit? We all struggle on a daily basis. All right? You want to quit waiting for the money and go find the deals. Because good deals find money. It's just the case. But you got a big key out there is you got to quit getting over your fear of talking to people. The biggest hurdle that we have in our investment lives is the 4 inches between your ears. I think mine's 5 inches. I'm just joking. But you can't be a James Bond in this business and succeed. You can't be a 007 and not talk to anybody and succeed. If you've got cash, great, awesome, good job. But that cash is going to run out eventually. Or you're going to have it sitting in a 401k that suddenly becomes a 101k. All right? Get out and talk to people, seriously. Always keep marketing for notes and pools. If something goes wrong or pops up in title, BK, or sounds like it's going to be difficult, just move on to another deal. There's so much low-hanging fruit out there. And this is the biggest thing. Avoid focusing on your backyard. Start looking nationwide because there's so many good deals out there, everybody. Okay? Quick recap. Couple high points. Focus on smaller banks and hedge funds. Solve their nightmares. Don't be scared to make low offers. Delegate to market professionals. Help perform due diligence. Making a quick buck now is better than no money at all. And rinse and repeat. Seriously, another man's trash is another man's treasure. Be the junk man. All right? Lots of opportunity out there. Now, I do have a class out there. I have a home study course and a 4-day workshop that I teach called Note Buying for Dummies. I believe it's the only note buying class in the country that's actually been approved for continuing education in the nation. Just in Texas, but it's still been approved. So it's a 4-day workshop. You can come and repeat for free. I also do basically weekly coaching calls for an hour. We go through deals, evaluating numbers, all that stuff. Usually 2 tickets on that, just to the 4-day workshop. Was involved in the home study course, 40 hours of online video and audio training. It's actually now a 230-page manual. Weekly updates of videos. I got over two of my 4-day workshops online that you can actually download. It's all video, all delivered online for you. You can access my contracts and forms. You can actually don't have to wait for the class. You can start closing deals now. I have people that literally will close deals before they show up to class and watch my videos. All right, and see all the kids. I got over 300 plus videos online. Nobody see my videos on YouTube? I have a few, don't I, Sam? Just a few. I got a few back there, don't I?
Oh yeah.
All right. The workshop is Thursday through Sunday, 4 days of content. Literally bring in and meet hedge fund managers. Not everybody else that does that. We evaluate deals together. We'll actually help you marketing your deals and building a nationwide team. I help you raise private money for you to take deals down. You can actually repeat any class for free. I don't care if you come to every workshop every year or once every next year. I don't charge for you to repeat. Is that all right? Does the market change? Yeah, so things change all the time. I had things in there. I actually have 2 classes in California coming up. I got one down in San Diego, August 1st to the 4th, and one in San Francisco, November 7th to the 10th. Okay? My weeklyclosenotes.com membership, you get access to those that you can actually cherry pick if you want to start buying now. If you get notes and need help selling them, we actually will post them on there for over 6,000 note investors to take a look at. Is that okay? 2 people like that. Thank you. I also give you online members only training. You also get discounts to Lane Guide, Distress Pro Financial. I have preferred servicing status with some of the big servicing companies out there, like Lane Home Financial or Nuvia. They actually will give my students preferential treatment. Okay? And I do answer my email and cell phone. I do answer the phone. Okay? Because I know if you're out there working on a deal and you need some help, you probably need to pick up the phone. Either I say text works best or email, but I answer my phone if I'm on a plane. All right? This is the big thing. Get a license for free. Big thing. If you go out and you come to my class, come to my workshop, and you go out and close a note deal, whether you wholesale for $500 or buy it and sell for $500,000. If you do it in 6 months from coming to my actual workshop, I give you a refund back for the tuition. Okay, great, we're done. Seriously, you just have to provide proof that you closed on it and pictures and stuff like that. But literally, this last week alone, I've actually written 5 refund checks for people that took the class. It's a cool thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I make money now. Liz Bremer and Dennis Smith, they actually came to my class in March. To hurry up, you guys can read that. Dennis is actually a bartender. Liz is a teacher. They came to my class, been a hedge fund, contacted. They put this actual note over here on this property under contract and then wholesaled it to another student in my class for $6,000 cash. Not bad, huh? Now they've been taking other people's note classes and had no success. When they came to mine, they learned how to actually do it. Okay? People call me the kind of the roll up the sleeves guy when it comes to notes. I'll actually dive in, show you exactly the dirty things, all the good things, and actually work it with you. Okay? Another closing. Merle Rempel, actually, he bought this property. He's taking the home study course. I'm going to show the class. Bought this property outside of Portland, Oregon. First lien, making 25% of his money. He just got issued a check this week. Okay. Brett Ayler just bought this condo in Bradenton, actually. Worth about 25, get it for 5. Got a D-Lou from it. Mike Giello came to the class at March Giello, thanks. As well, and bought 3 notes within 90 days. One in Tennessee, this Clearwater condo is a nice little deal for him as well. Out there, making great money on there. Give me a recap there, guys. Home study course, 2 tickets to my workshop, membership, forms and contracts, access to notes you can buy today, market your deals to other investors, and access to my cell phone. We'll be doing $8,000 value, okay? I'm serious. I want people to take classes to learn this stuff because this is the market. Will it be around for 5 years, 10 years? Probably not. Will it be around 3 to 5? Yeah, that's what everybody says. Beyond that, who knows? You have the best opportunity out there right now in the market business. So, my upcoming workshops, I got one actually just around the corner in Austin, San Diego, Chicago, San Fran, Baltimore, Arlington area, in Virginia the first of the year. But literally, I'm doing it special right now. I don't care if you don't know the person next to it. If you want to sign up for a class, it's 2 for 1 for $9.97. It's the cheapest note class in the industry. All right? I'm not going to charge you $1,000 a day or anything like that. Okay? So if you have your spouse or partner or a stranger next to you, like, hey, I haven't met you yet, but just scared to talk to you all day. Would you like to split up on that? All right? Sign up in the back here, or talk to Linda over here for you. My website's WeCloseNotes.com. That's just a special for here, guys. All right, it's more expensive if you're doing it individually, but it's special here. Some other successful students here. Tom Becker's bought over 40 notes at REOs. We're doing it. Richard McCrae actually just bought an apartment complex and flipped 2 other notes. Brian Netzel has bought a dozen notes. Let's see, Harriet Sakuta's bought 3. She's at a Rancho Cucamonga. Aaliyah Ott's bought about a dozen notes, not more. Greg Narog's bought 9 notes and flipping them all. Aubrey has bought, actually he's an ex-retired, he used to work in prisons. Bought a dozen notes as well. Susie Riel's an REO agent in Orlando who's quit being an agent just to buy notes. Okay? Andy Quang's also bought about 6 notes. He actually partnered with Greg Narog on a couple deals. James Starr, youngest, graduated from college less than a year ago. Got a degree in golf course management. Yeah, ouch. Okay? Couldn't find a job. Him and his dad, Lindsay, partnered up and started taking it, and they've sold literally about an average 1 to 2 notes per month since then. That's 6 months, full time now of that. Lynn and Sue Barnes bought a pool of 48 condos, roughly in South Florida, worth about $2.5 million. Picked it up for $200 grand. Let me rephrase that again. Wow, talk about leverage, huh? What's $200 grand buy you here? A doghouse? Okay. Kathy Hopkins, you know about her. Rudy Cortez bought a couple properties, still works full time, but a couple notes there in the Houston market, making 25% of his money. Gerald Briggs. Jerry Briggs, you can't see his dark picture, but he looks like ZZ Top, doesn't he? I don't know about you, but how many of you guys know somebody who spent over $100 grand in education never to pull the trigger? Right? That's the same thing with Jerry. His wife was starting to get really upset because their 401ks and IRAs were going way down, not any action. He came to the class, I think he only said like 5 words. My name is Jerry Briggs. All right, about a year ago. The last year he's bought 4 deals, doubled his money what we bought on that, and he's in the process of closing on 8 condos for somewhere around $5 grand each, that'll net $1 grand a month in income. Not a bad little thing. Now he talks. Now I can't shut him up. All right. But that's the stories. Oh, Bill Shear up there as well. He's being goofy with his cross eyes. Owns a full-time flooring company, and he just buys it on the side. But see Linda about that. I'll be here till 4 o'clock. I got to take off everybody. But thank you for your afternoon. Any questions? I'll be outside. A little note here before Dan comes up here. Sorry, I didn't want to drag on here. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm going to tell you to be worth it, whatever you do. All right? Anything worthwhile takes time. You create a business, so that's why I tried to show you. Instead of taking me 6, 7 years to get where I'm being, I teach my class so you can be making money in 60 days. So thank you again. Awesome.
Thank you. Break. Then we'll have myself up, and then we'll have Bill Twyford up. Just, head out.
Bonus.
Talk to Scott. Hey, don't anybody leave. I'm coming up. Yeah, you guys go out, I'm going to call you out. Don't leave permanently, just take a little break, that's all.
I offered a special bonus to the 12 and 13 people that are here on time. You can take $200 off if you're interested in signing up.
good.
So you're yeah, I'll stay here. Yeah.
If you have questions for Scott or you're interested, please come and see us.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Question about
It's okay.
So in the transaction, you're buying a note.
It's easy.